Hey guys, back again today for a new Pokemon video. So a few months ago when new Pokemon Snap came out, I decided to do a short review for that game. I knew I had to because Pokemon Snap is not only one of my favorite Pokemon games ever, it's maybe one of my favorite games in general. I absolutely loved it because growing up, I've always had a passion for photography to the point where at this point in time, I am a certified photographer because back when I did a short review for the new Pokemon Snap game, I said I was studying photography. Well, between that review and this one, I have earned my certificate for photography and I'm actually currently studying for my diploma. So photography is very special to me. And so that's why I love these games so much because it's two of my favorite things, Pokemon and photography. You can't get a much better game for me personally. And so I said that once I finished playing the game, I would come back and do a more in-depth review of the game. I don't want this video to just be the same thing, just a bit more in depth. So what I'm going to also do is give you my top 5 favorite moments from new Pokemon Snap. So that's not what my favorite areas are, what my favorite Pokemon I encountered are. Granted, in my top 5, these things will be mentioned, but my top 5 moments is a culmination of everything in the game. It could be something that happened in the game that personally affected me. It could be new game mechanics. It could be things that happened in the game, cutscenes that I loved. That's what my top 5 is going to be based on. And so first I'll give you my thoughts and then I'll give you my top 5 moments. But before we get started, of course, make sure you give this video a thumbs up because you know your support is greatly appreciated. And of course, if you're not subscribed to me, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And make sure you follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, links will be in the description. And one last thing that I should know is that because there's going to be a more in-depth review as well as a top 5 favorite moments, there will be spoilers in this game. So going into talking about this game, I want to just mention that obviously in the past, I don't review Pokemon games. I've done Pokemon videos, but I don't review Pokemon games. The reason I want to review new Pokemon Snap for you guys is because as a photographer, I feel like I see the game differently to people who aren't photographers. When I play the game, my photographer brain kicks in and it works just like in my everyday life. When I'm taking pictures, I'm like analyzing it without even thinking. And so I'm always trying to get the best composition for a photo, the best colors, so many things I'm trying to do when I make a picture and I hardly think about it when I do it. And so I knew playing new Pokemon Snap, I would do the exact same thing. So what I loved about it was as you leveled up, not just your Neo 1, but also the levels themselves, new possibilities opened up for you, new game mechanics, new things you could do with your Neo 1. New things you could do while you're on the track. New Pokemon would appear in different spots, doing different things. It was just amazing because it meant that I could keep going back to these tracks over and over again. Like I spent so long in every individual track to the point where I'm trying to max out the levels before I even moved on to a new area, even though it'd been available to me for ages. Because I wanted to go back, try new techniques, and constantly try to improve my photos. In my everyday life, that's what I do. One of my favorite photography quotes by Imogen Cunningham, I believe. When asked which of their photos is their favorite, Imogen said, the one I'm gonna take tomorrow. Because that's how I look at it. When doing photography in general, or in this game, when I'm taking pictures, I want to keep going back to the tracks because every single photo I take, I'm trying to make better than the last photos. I'm always trying to improve. Because what's the point if you're not constantly trying to improve yourself? There's always new techniques and styles of photos. Constantly try to improve yourself. Experiment with different things and you'll be amazed at what you can do. But that's how I look at it when playing this game. So I would constantly go back to tracks because there were new things I could do. There were certain items I could throw at Pokemon. I could use the scanner at certain times. I could eventually in the game, you get to speed up your Neo 1. And so doing that allows you to go in different positions than you were before to get a different angle on Pokemon. One of the last things that's introduced on your Neo 1 is the burst mode. And this burst mode allowed me to take multiple pictures, one after the other. And so when Pokemon are moving so fast sometimes, I was able to get much better pictures. And so that's why I'm trying to say that like as you experiment with new styles, techniques, and in this game, new items and things that your Neo 1 can do, you're able to get much better photos every single time you go into the track. And so I spent so many hours on every single track and I didn't get bored at all. Now, I don't really want to go through like area after area and talk about my favorite parts of every area because otherwise this video would go on way too long, but I'll roughly mention all of them. So starting off, you have like the nature park And then you also eventually get that secret side path, which comes later in the game, where you get to shrink your Neo 1 down, and then all these Pokemon are now giant, or they look giant to you anyway, and yeah, that's a lot of fun. And then you get to the next island, where you have the jungle, the river, the forest. Every time a new area opened up, it was so exciting because I had no idea what was going to be there. One of the best things I did going into this game, one of the smartest decisions I made, was to not look at anything. I had no idea. The only thing I knew about New Pokemon Snap was what was in that original trailer. I had no idea what Pokemon were going to be in each of these areas except for what was shown in the trailer. Most of that I'd forgotten anyway. And so, especially like when the new DLC areas opened up later, once the game was released, including that secret side path, I had no idea what was going to be there. Yeah, that was amazing. I reckon my favorite set of areas was on Voluka Island, which had the Barren Badlands, Sweltering Sands, and the Fireflow Volcano. I think those three I had the most fun. I don't know what it was, just those areas, I enjoy going around those areas in the Neo 1, and I loved the Pokemon in them. Yeah, some of my favorite photos came from these areas. And then you had the Maricopia Islands, I think I said that right. It had the Blushing Beach, the Reef, and the Seafloor. Those areas were great. I don't think they did the water areas too much. I started to think it a bit, but there was enough differences in each of these areas where I wasn't too annoyed. Yeah, probably my least favorite of all the different islands. I still had a lot of fun, and also some great Pokemon came out of those areas too. And then you had the other island that opened up, which had the snowfields as well as the cave. That was a cool like last edition because that was later in the game, but had some great Pokemon there too. And again, like I said, you get to level up all these places you go to, and every time you do it, more Pokemon appear. They are doing different things and are in different spots on this track, so it keeps it fresh, so you're not always prepared for what's going to happen. I will say that may be one of the negatives, that after you've fully finished the game and you've unlocked all the areas, every single level for each area, you don't get surprised as much with things because you know where pretty much everything's going to be. You can still go back and try new techniques to get different photos, but you know where all these Pokemon are going to be, which is disappointing, but like at some point it's going to become like that in the game once you've fully finished everything. They can't just have it completely randomized every single time you go onto the track. That would be way too difficult to create. So I'm still okay with it. I think it just means that when I play New Pokemon Snap, I should play a bunch of it, then not play for a while, then go back, and then it's just exciting to get back into it and kind of forget where Pokemon are. I think that's how I need to play it, because I've just played the hell out of this game. And now, also I should mention, you might be thinking, it's been a long time since these games come out. Did it really take you this long to play the games? No. No, I finished the game ages ago, but because of my courses that I've been doing for my photography course outside of YouTube, I have had like no time for anything. That's why I haven't brought out many YouTube videos, which I do apologize for. And I have got stuff in the works for on this channel. And yeah, some pretty big stuff coming up. But yeah, I haven't had as much time, and because I don't have anyone else to help me. I've mentioned this in other videos. So all the editing, the filming, the uploading, it all takes a lot of time, and I just don't have much time at the moment. But I did promise that I would do the review for the game, so I was able to find time in between my terms, and yeah, here we are. Back in the game, there was one last area that opened up, the Ruins of Remembrance. Pokemon I absolutely love appeared there, including Umbreon, who I was so excited because we were getting evolutions throughout the different areas, and I just kept thinking, where's Umbreon? Where's Umbreon? Hell, the cave opened up, and I was like, okay, now Umbreon, but no Umbreon. So yeah, once I eventually saw Umbreon, I had this massive smile on my face. And so talking about the amount of Pokemon that you can take pictures of in this game. So before doing this review, I ended up checking my photo decks to see how many Pokemon I've registered. I've registered 216 Pokemon. That's 216 different Pokemon that you can take pictures of. And I know for a fact that's not all the Pokemon in the game, because there are ones I haven't caught yet. Certain legendaries I know I still haven't caught. Not because I can't do it. I know how to find them. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. And so because we're close to 1,000 Pokemon now, having 216 and there's still a couple more to be seen, it's not bad. I really do wish there were more Pokemon, but there is enough content in this game that I'm okay with the amount that we did get. Recently we have been given brand new areas with new Pokemon introduced. In the future, they may do extra updates to the games with new areas. Who knows? Now, there's a couple more little things I want to touch on before I get into this top 5. I just want to talk a bit about the mechanics of the game. By this I mean the things that you can do with the Neo 1. Now, I'll talk about this more when we get to the top 5, trust me. Just to briefly talk about it, the new upgrades to the Neo 1 kept making it more exciting to go back to the old tracks, because things like I mentioned, the burst mode and the speed boost, as well as doing different areas, you get the different Illumina orbs which have different colors. That was always fun. Scanning the area did things. There were different things you could do. Obviously, you can throw fruit. Like I said, it opens up so many new possibilities and you can just experiment, and that's how you get better and better photos. While we're on the topic of experimenting, improving your photos, because I'm a photographer, I want to give you my favorite photos. And so I will do a countdown video of my favorite photos that I've taken in the game. And I'll go through each photo with you and explain exactly why I love these photos. Because like I said earlier, as a photographer, I analyze photos without even thinking about it. So when I'm looking at each of these photos that I'll mention in this video, because I already know which photos I'm going to talk about, I'm going to explain exactly why these photos are special to me. Maybe it was the story behind the photo. Maybe it was the composition. Maybe it was how the colors looked. Maybe it was just the Pokemon that were in the picture. Maybe they were Pokemon that I just absolutely adore and was happy to see in the game. I will talk about all this stuff in my countdown video for my favorite photos, which will be another separate video which I will create later. Now, last thing I want to touch on are just the special Pokemon in the game, because you have your normal Pokemon that you see in each of the areas, which is absolutely great. After each set of areas, you get an Illumina Pokemon. We saw in the trailer, and I mentioned in the first review, about the Meganium. Meganium is definitely not the only Illumina Pokemon, and that was one of the things I was excited about. As I said, I didn't know anything about this game, so going into each area when a new Illumina Pokemon appear, I honestly had no idea what was going to appear, which Pokemon we were going to see as an Illumina Pokemon. So that was so exciting to me. And then also, once you get late into the game, I kept thinking, are we going to get legendary Pokemon? In the original Pokemon Snap, you had the 3 legendary birds, as well as you can take photos of Mew on the last level. There was Mewtwo as well, but technically that was a different situation. They were the only legendaries at that point. There are so many legendary Pokemon, I kept thinking, when are we going to see legendary Pokemon? And I was not let down. Pretty much every area in the game has a legendary Pokemon, which you have to do certain things to have it appear, but there are legendary Pokemon. There was one specific legendary Pokemon that made me more excited than any of the other legendaries we saw, because it was the one I wanted to see. It was funny because the area where you find this Pokemon, I'm going to talk about this more in my top 5, but I had gone to this area and I thought, surely something goes there. And then eventually, as I leveled up, I found this Pokemon there and it blew my mind. But I'm going to talk about that more in my top 5. So speaking of, let's get into the top 5 favorite moment from the game. Now, like I said, this is a culmination of multiple different things in the games. It could be some cutscenes, it could be reveals that happened in the game, it could be just game mechanics that I loved. It's just a combination of everything in New Pokemon Snap. And also, I haven't said this in a while, but with these countdowns, these are based on my personal favorites. They're not the best because everyone has different opinions. So make sure you let us know what your top 5 favorite moments in New Pokemon Snap are in the comment section. So starting with my number 5 favorite moment, the upgrades to the Neo 1 as well as the levels. I've mentioned this already, but just being able to level up each area that you go to gave you new things to do in each level, gives you reasons to keep going back into the levels. New Pokemon would appear, they'd be doing different things. Pokemon that were already there are now in different spots. And then as well as that, upgrading the Neo 1, I keep harping on about this, but the upgrades in the Neo 1 were great, especially Burst Mode and the Speed Up. They were my 2 favorite upgrades, but as well as the Illumina Orbs, I always loved to throw the Illumina Orbs at a Pokemon and capture it as they have that glow around them, and not like the glow once the Illumina Orbs already affected them. As the Illumina Orb hits them, they get a much brighter glow. Like half my photos are like that. I just enjoyed it. That's the thing about photography. Everyone has different tastes when it comes to photography. I know what I love in a photo, and so I tend to incorporate that a lot into my pics. So certain people may see my pictures and think, no, that's a bit too much, or no, I don't really like that style, which is fine. That's the beauty of photography. But I really enjoyed taking the photos that I took. So going to my 4th favorite moment It was a reveal, something that I'm surprised I didn't see coming. Like I said, I didn't spoil anything for myself. It was not just a reveal, it was the return. And at this point, I think you know who I'm talking about. It was Todd. The protagonist from the original Pokemon Snap appears in New Pokemon Snap. At this point is now a super famous Pokemon photographer known all around the world. My mind was blown when Todd appeared. I can't even explain the feeling I had when Todd appeared. It was just shock. And yeah, just amazement I didn't see this coming. Having Todd come back in the game as now a mentor, as a world famous Pokemon photographer, this is incredible. There isn't much more to talk about with Todd, just the fact that he appeared in the game and I was not ready for it. So my third favorite part of the game was the legendary Pokemon reveal. Like I said, throughout the game I kept thinking, when are we going to get some legendary Pokemon? And then certain legendaries that were revealed made me so happy. And it's funny, two of the ones I got most excited about were actually the mascots of one generation of Pokemon. That was Lugia and Ho-Oh, and in particular Lugia, who is the Pokemon that I mentioned earlier when I was talking about a certain spot, and I thought, there's got to be something there. And then eventually, Lugia was laying there. The Lugia is found on the Lentil seafloor, and when I found the area that Lugia was, like, it wasn't there to begin with, and it was because I found this area without even thinking. There's certain things you got to do beforehand, which include a lantern and some frillish. Playing it, I didn't know this was a way to unlock something. I was just doing random things, trying to get different pictures, doing different things with the Pokemon. Lantern ends up leading you into a different area where there was this big spot, had some crystal bloom flowers that you could light up, but there was this big empty gap between the flowers. That was one of those moments where I thought, there's got to be a legendary appearing here. And I can't believe I didn't think it was going to be Lugia, but it turned out to be Lugia. In a higher level, you go back to that spot and there was a Lugia sleeping there. The shock I had when I went into this cave and then suddenly there was a Lugia now there, it was insane. And so that was probably the legendary I was most excited for, but also Ho-Oh, was super excited to see Ho-Oh, as well as seeing Xerneas at the end of the game. That was a great reveal. So my second favorite moment in New Pokemon Snap is actually quite similar to my third favorite moment. It's not about the legendary Pokemon, but it's about the other special Pokemon, that being the Illumina Pokemon. And not just seeing these Illumina Pokemon, it was the reveal of these Illumina Pokemon. Because as I previously mentioned, I didn't know what these Illumina Pokemon were going to be except for the Meganium, because it was shown everywhere in the trailers. Hell, it's on the cover of New Pokemon Snap. So I knew there was going to be this giant Meganium. But ever since I first saw the giant Meganium when it was first revealed before the game came out, I was thinking, what other Pokemon are going to be revealed? I went onto a level to take pictures of an Illumina Pokemon that was spotted, and I was just going along this river, and I was like, okay, what is it? I'm going through my head, what Pokemon haven't I seen yet? What crazy Pokemon could they show? Because it had to be special Pokemon. We weren't going to get Pokemon like an Illumina Magikarp. Mind you, wouldn't that have been amazing? They were going to be a special Pokemon because the only Illumina Pokemon I knew about was a fully evolved starter. So I thought, are all these Illumina Pokemon going to be fully evolved starters? Which made me think, is one of them going to be Blaziken? Sadly, Blaziken was one of the Pokemon absent from the game. I remember one of the levels where I was going to encounter Illumina Pokemon. I was going along this water and I was thinking, what's going to be here? And then a Milotic appears and it was stunning. This giant glowing Milotic just under the water, and it was just a great moment. And the other Illumina Pokemon that was a crazy shock to me was Wishy-Washy. And it's not because Wishy-Washy is just some crazy Pokemon to show as an Illumina Pokemon. It was just the fact that I have a deep fear of the dark ocean. And so I thought for sure, if we were in the deep dark ocean and there was going to be this extra large, terrifying Pokemon, it was going to be Gyarados. And then when Wishy-Washy was revealed, that was still scary. It didn't start as the big Wishy-Washy. It started as all the little Wishy-Washy, all up just appearing all nice and small, and then they all swim off into the distance, and then you see this big figure coming towards you. That moment actually had me on edge, because I knew Wishy-Washy wasn't going to attack or anything, but just this giant fish coming straight towards you, that was terrifying. And it made that level so much more fun. So yeah, my second favorite moment is just those reveals of the Illumina Pokemon. And so now we get to my number one favorite moment in New Pokemon Snap. This honestly isn't a moment itself. It's actually a culmination of a bunch of different moments I had in the game. That was just the feeling I had from seeing some of my favorite Pokemon finally in New Pokemon Snap. Because like I've mentioned, the original Pokemon Snap only had Gen 1 Pokemon. And of course, I love so many Gen 1 Pokemon because they're the ones I've had the most time to get to love. Over time, there have been so many Pokemon that I've just grown to love so much. And so certain times, a Pokemon would be revealed, and because I didn't know these Pokemon were coming, because I had nothing spoiled for me, when a Pokemon that I loved appeared on a level, it was the best feeling I had the whole time playing New Pokemon Snap. Some of these Pokemon, for example, I mentioned Umbreon. Finally getting to see Umbreon in the game was so great because there were so many different evolutions I'd seen beforehand. I just kept thinking, when are we going to get to Umbreon? Another one in particular was Lycanroc. Hell, I made videos years ago when Lycanroc was first revealed thinking there are wolf Pokemon finally, because as I've mentioned, wolves are my favorite animals. And so I prayed we were going to get Lycanroc in the games, and we did. We got both midday and midnight Lycanrocs, as well as Rockruff. And so while talking about Rockruff, I just want to say, I think this is the reason why the Voluka Island areas are my favorite areas to explore, because like I mentioned, that's where I found most of the Pokemon that I love. Not only did we get Rockruff and Lycanrocs, we also got Tyranitar, Flygon, Tyrantrum, Charizard, Talonflame, there was Torchic, there was Charmander. There were so many Pokemon that I absolutely adore. And hell, even Pokemon that I didn't care for as much before, I love more now because of seeing them in New Pokemon Snap. One of the Pokemon in particular was Mandibuzz, who I've always been more of a Braviary fan, but New Pokemon Snap has made me love Mandibuzz. It's just this real menacing Pokemon that's always like up high, looking down on you, and it was terrifying. That's definitely my favorite part of New Pokemon Snap. Just that excitement, the joy I had seeing some of my favorite Pokemon of all time in a Pokemon Snap game. As a photographer, being able to compose these amazing photos of my favorite Pokemon was an incredible feeling and something I'll never forget. And so yeah, that pretty much wraps up my review on New Pokemon Snap. Final thoughts. Absolutely love the game. Like, come on, I've been praising this game for a long time now. If you haven't played it yet, do yourself a favor and get New Pokemon Snap. Actually, if you haven't played the original Pokemon Snap, play that first. Both of these games are definitely worth playing. If I was to rank New Pokemon Snap out of 10, I would probably give it a 9.5 out of 10. And the only reason I didn't give it that last 0.5 is because with the amount of Pokemon there are now, 8 generations of Pokemon, there were less than 300 Pokemon in the game. That's less than a third of the total amount of Pokemon were in this game. Again, that's not too much of an issue. There's enough in these games to keep you going, keep you happy for a long time. And like I said, as a photographer, you want to keep improving your photos. You can always take better pictures. When asked, what is your best photo? You say the one I'm going to take tomorrow, because you can always take better pictures. And as you do, you'll gain new skills. It's just so much fun. I love photography. I love Pokemon. This is an amazing game. I'm so glad I was around to be able to play this game. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, down the road, I'm going to make another New Pokemon Snap video where I'm going to go through my favorite photos and tell you exactly why I love them. Give you a bit of story on these photos. Just because I took so many photos. And so I just want to be able to share these photos with you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And like I also said, make sure you let us know your top 5 favorite moments of New Pokemon Snap in the comments section. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.